Heads up, this is about an early alpha build, so, you know, usual stuff, everything's subject to change, and we may check this one out later on. Let's get started. It's kind of crazy to think about the Souls series and how genre-defining it's been. Dark Souls came along and splashed itself all over the games industry and revealed that there are a lot of players that are kind of tired of how modern games hold your hand in every way. In succeeding as greatly as it did, Souls spawned an entire genre inspired by explorative games and hardcore involved combat. Alex Kuzmanovich's Unworthy is another in a long list of games inspired by the Souls series. Funnily enough, Unworthy was also directly inspired by some of the problems that Alex found in an older project of his, Runic Legacy of Sin. When working on the project, he found it hard to get players to want to fight a specific, more challenging variety of enemy. After a bunch of experimentation, he settled on the idea of taking jumping right out of the game, and that's what led to the development of Unworthy, a game that takes away an extra bit of mobility in order to prove a point and test the limits of what can be done in a 2D Souls-like / Castlevania kind of game without easy means of escape. In the early build that I've been playing, the combat feels very balanced and focused on being responsive and intense, with the exception of a couple enemy placements that could be better, spider bitches, and the last boss in the alpha needing a bit of tweaking. The game nails its targeted type of difficulty almost perfectly, making it a satisfying thing to play. An interesting mechanic in Unworthy is how the shield works. When starting development, Alex actually didn't want a shield to be involved in the game at all, preferring the faster paced combat of Bloodborne to Dark Souls, but after some playtesting, he opted to add in a shield that worked automatically and on a cooldown. In his own words, this works kind of like a freebie, allowing you to get hit without taking any damage every now and then, so that when an enemy does something new that you're not expecting, it makes you pull back and go, okay, it can do this, I know this now, won't get hit by that again, I hope. On the surface, this can sound kind of strange, but in execution, it works wonders. It's a really clever way to fight against cheap or unfair deaths to new enemy varieties and bosses as they change phases. The cooldown on the shield takes just the right amount of time, too. It'd be interesting to see how things played if being more aggressive or landing more dodges or hits helped regenerate your shield, but the way it works now is pretty solid. That's just like a little idea. There you go. Now, it wouldn't really be a true Souls-like without tasty lore. Each new enemy that you kill unlocks its page in a bestiary, showing the baddie's sprite and giving you some insight in the mysterious expositional side of the game that lets you kind of try to piece together the way the world works. There's also lore tucked away in item descriptions and dialogue. You just have to keep an eye and ear out for it and talk to everybody. It'd be a shame if I didn't take a moment to talk about Unworthy's visuals. I was a little apprehensive when I saw some early screenshots of the game. After all, grayscale is crazy hard to pull off, and everything I was seeing said the game wanted to drip atmosphere. Thankfully, Alex makes it work. The use of silhouettes and shapes and lighting is really impressive, with plenty of variety and each area shoving a bunch of dreariness and suspense into your eyes as you march forward. The red splashes of blood help to give Unworthy a bit of a Sin City vibe and create some nice visual variants, breaking up the darkness with splats of color. Unworthy is a game that knows its roots well enough to channel them, and a game that's brave enough to do its own thing and stand beside its progenitors instead of on their shoulders. It's not out yet, but you can sign up for the alpha on the game's website linked in the description. If you're any kind of Souls fan, or even just dig challenging games, then this is definitely one to keep an eye on. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Be sure to check out the other content that we put out on this channel, and remember to drop me a line here on Twitter or through email with any game recommendations that you've got. You can find all that stuff down in the description below. I'll see you next time. Bye!